Hi, I'm Brian Caouette, CEO of OnFrontiers. We're a peer-to-peer learning platform headquartered in New York City. So for those interested in investing in life sciences companies, sorry to disappoint, but on the upside, you don't have to worry about our FDA approval process. So peer-to-peer learning is learning through conversations with knowledgeable people. So many of us engaged in this type of learning today at the forum. OnFrontiers is a company that makes this possible at a much larger scale by facilitating the dialogue to make it more efficient. I believe we're at the dawn of a new era of learning from one another more intelligently as we solve tougher and tougher problems. And this belief is rooted in my personal experience, and in particular the experience building a business very far from my home base. 8 years ago, I moved to Liberia to start a rubber farming company. That was a highly non-traditional career move for a guy from Portland, Maine. But Liberia is a special place, and I was drawn to a unique opportunity there. So when I first visited Liberia in 2009, while I was a graduate school student at Harvard, the country was still recovering from 15 years of devastating civil war. One consequence of that war was the country's #1 industry, natural rubber, had been decimated. I spoke with hundreds of families who were trying to rebuild their farms. One of the key things that they were struggling with was that the knowledge on how to farm rubber had been lost during the war period. I didn't know anything about rubber myself, but I did see the potential for transformational change. So with one of my classmates at the Kennedy School, we started brainstorming about new models and settled upon a business by which we partner with individual families in rebuilding their farms. We were ultimately able to mobilize millions of new investment capital into the sector. As I reflect back on this experience, I now realize that much of what we did involved learning through people. First, with the market research. At Harvard, we had access to some of the best libraries, but the information we needed wasn't in books. And so we did our own research, and we connected with 150 people who had lived or worked in Liberia or knew something about rubber. When it came to implementation, we met a remarkable man named Morris. Morris had worked at one of the international rubber companies based in Liberia, and for 40 years had planted over 100,000 acres of rubber in his life. Morris was nearing retirement and wanted to share that know-how with his countrymen, and he joined our cause. And then I, in the process of developing this business, became knowledgeable on things related to Liberia and rubber, and had the opportunity to share that knowledge with others and at conferences. So as we're starting new businesses, we often think of capital or technology or some aspect of the market as the key constraint in what's going to make us successful. But what I found in Liberia is what really mattered was my ability to learn quickly from others, to apply those learnings and then share. Liberia is also where I met my co-founder, Anna. Here we are on one of our farms. Anna and I later joined up in New York City, years later after I had moved on from the venture in Liberia. And she, through a separate set of experiences, bumping into broken knowledge systems, had launched OnFrontiers to scratch that itch. I ultimately joined Anna, and together we explored this question. If peer-to-peer learning is so transformational, why isn't there more of it? Why isn't everybody doing this all of the time? And what we settled on was that it's just so hard. For most questions we face, there is the right person out there to answer the question, but there are so many roadblocks in the way. At a most basic level, you might not be able to find them, or you can't build trust with them, or they could be in another country or speak another language, or they could work for a competitor, or they might not be incentivized to share their knowledge with you. So Anna and I believed that we could build a business that applied technology and process in a new way to overcome these obstacles. We create a platform for precision matching so you could find experts based on very, very granular requirements. We build social proof so you feel more comfortable sharing sensitive information. We build translation services so that you can learn from experts anywhere in the world. We build a robust compliance framework so that you can share knowledge more safely across company lines. And then we create a payment and reputation system so the best experts bubble to the top. And we do this all within a scalable online platform that could work for some of the largest organizations as well as the small guys, entrepreneurs like us. And so that's what we did. And I'd like to share some of the early results we've had with our customers. Caitlin on the R&D team at Bose connected with a physician to evaluate safety impacts of a new product she was working on. Simeon, an impact investor at the Global Innovation Fund, connected with a neonatal sepsis expert in India to look at a project they were considering investing in. And Joel, a startup entrepreneur, connected with an eyewear expert, and based on that knowledge, launched a new business, a contact lens company, Simple Contacts. Caitlin, Simeon, and Joel all had rich knowledge exchanges with the exact right person to talk to at the exact right time. And so in doing so, they were able to learn so much faster and more efficiently than I was in Liberia. Despite its promise, the internet revolution has fallen short in many areas, and peer-to-peer learning is one of them. We heard from many companies today at the forum tackling extremely complex challenges. Complexity demands specialization, and specialization demands new ways of accessing human knowledge. OnFrontiers is building the infrastructure to allow you to do that at scale, to allow all of us to learn faster together. If you'd like to learn more, we're interested in talking to investors and potential customers to try us out. Here's my email address. Thank you very much.